It's a disaster. Man, listen.
Molly's like, I'm listening.
You dig? I went to New York, and within the first week, I'm in the subway traveling around, and I pass out on the platform.
Pass out on the platform?
Yeah, as I'm out. I'm like, what's going on? What's happening here?
This doesn't happen a lot. I pay attention to this. Molly's sitting right next to you.
Hello, Molly.
It's my external nervous system.
Hey.
So you pass out on the platform.
Yes.
That sounds dangerous.
Yeah, very dangerous. Luckily, there was some friends there who could catch me and take me to, which at this time it was, I think it was Roosevelt, the ER, the one that's right next to Lincoln Center. We went there. I'm there. They say, oh, you're exhausted. And maybe you're having some migraines or something. They give me Tylenol, tell me to go away. I'm having night sweats. I'm basically feeling this sharp pain in my lung. And then I start to pass out again. I feel this intensity. Meanwhile, the second day that I was there, before all this happened, I'm in the dorms at Juilliard. I'm unpacking. I'm doing all the thing. The bunk is up. I fall off the bunk and basically fracture a rib, if not close to it. They do the x-ray. They're like, you got a lot happening. Now, this is the wildest part. I go back to the ER. They say you have walking pneumonia that you've had for 2 weeks. You have to stay here overnight, over a few days while, we give you the IV fluids and the antibiotics and all the things. I missed the orientation of the school year. I missed all the things that you kind of get acclimated to. And there's nobody that is in New York. I have a second cousin who lives in Harlem who I get acquainted with, and we become closer during this time. But I remember thinking, am I supposed to be here? From falling out the bunk. And I'm like, no, I can't miss this. So I go back. I'm just in there. Next thing you know, I'm fainting in the subway. Oh, man. Oh, I'm just exhausted. I got to cool out. Next thing you know, I'm in the nights. I'm sweating. Something's happening. That's my lungs crying out. You've had pneumonia. You've been walking around with this. So between that being the first year of me being in New York, first time at Juilliard, first time being away from home, it completely felt like a crash and burn scenario. It's time for you to get out of here.
All the signs point to the exit.
Everything's telling me at this time internally as I'm sitting in the hospital. I remember those days. It was like 3 or 4 days I was there, and I felt this sort of, as a kid, you're like, I don't want to tell my parents, but I also don't feel like I belong here. I need to get out of here. And it's also this kind of, there was a dichotomy of coming from this very rich cultural heritage and this beautiful expression of excellence and pedagogy, but Juilliard being this European classical legitimizing entity that, especially as a young Black kid, pushing the boundaries of what generationally my family has achieved, and also musically eventually wanting to, become a disruptor from inside of all of it and just in the most benevolent way, rip it all down and build it again in a different way. Knowing that was somewhat of a motivation, and then landing and sort of dead on arrival felt like it was ultimately the type of failure that it almost not only made me go home, but quit music. Just kind of like, this isn't my profession. I can just go home. I had a whole bunch of things I could have done other than this. To sit in there by yourself thinking about, is this a message?
So what happened? You're here. So what resurrected the confidence or the direction?
Just the inner knowing, man. You got to just know.